What's up everyone, Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids, and today we're going to be looking at a product from ThruNite. This is the ThruNite Ti3. It's going to run you about 20 bucks depending on where you pick it up. I got this directly from ThruNite for review, and as we start to look at the flashlight, talk about different functions and features, I do want to show you it comes in this sleeve and also in this nice metal box or aluminum box. So cool, they put a little bit of thought into the actual process of packaging it up and sending it out to you. Let's take a look and see what you get with the Ti3. Here's what you get in the box, your instructions. You get this little keychain with the clasp there. You get a clip that you can attach to the actual light. It does come in the box with the sleeve on top of it and in this foam, so it's going to ship nice and safe to you. Battery installation is quite simple. Remove the head of the flashlight, take your AAA battery, put it in negative side down, positive side up, and then you're going to simply put the head of the flashlight back on, and then as you twist it down, eventually you'll see that it's working properly as the light comes on. Here's a look at the included keychain, and essentially what's going to happen is that the keychain has a little triangle that's right here, and that's just attached to this portion of the keychain. You're going to take it off, run it through the last link of the chain, and then push it through, and then squeeze the two ends of the triangle together to basically close it up. And now you've got this, and you can attach that to, put it on your belt. You can attach it to a key ring, however you want to set it up, but that's what the keychain connection looks like. You're also going to get this extra O-ring right here, and if you look closely you can see basically on the threads right here there's an O-ring, so if that one wears out you can replace it with the included extra O-ring. Let's talk through some of the specs here. As you saw, it takes one AAA battery. It has 4 different output modes: Firefly, Low, High, and a hidden strobe. The Firefly is 0.04 lumens, and that's going to burn for 115 hours. Your low setting is 12 lumens, and that's going to burn for 6.3 hours. Your high setting is 120 lumens, that'll burn for 0.5 hours. And your strobe is 120 lumens, and that will burn for 1 hour. This is an LED flashlight. It's a Cree XP G2 R5 LED with a lifespan of 20 plus years. The dimensions are 70 millimeters long by 14 millimeters wide, and the 14 is across the head of the flashlight. Your weight is 12 grams without the battery. It is made of aircraft quality aluminum, and it has a hard anodized anti-abrasive finish. It's also waterproof to IPX8 standards, and the way you turn it on is there's no switch on the back. It's going to be twisting to turn it on and off, and I'll show you that right now. In the dark now, looking at my table, and I'll show you the different settings. Here's Firefly, here's 12 lumens, 120, which pretty much washes out the camera, and then back to Firefly, 12, 120, and if you go through twice through the cycle you'll get to the strobe setting, and back to the Firefly setting. For those of you who might be wondering how millimeters break out to inches, you're talking about 2 3/4 inches long and about 1/2 inch wide. I'm down here in my basement now. It's a little bit chaotic down here because we're about to move, so there's boxes everywhere and stuff is just kind of thrown around. But take a look here as I turn on the light. We'll put it on the lowest setting, and at the lowest setting you basically can't see a whole lot. You can see a little bit of reflection there. Kind of down in the bottom of the screen, that's a plastic box, so not a whole lot to see with that. Turn it off and back on. There's your second setting, and you can see I'm looking at some electrical panels. There's my circuit breaker, top of the washing machine over there. We'll go to the third setting, and if I leave this on full bright and the camera doesn't adjust, it'll just wash itself out. But let me move this around a little bit so you can see. It lights the place up. And don't forget, this is a tiny, tiny little light. Looking over here, washing machine, going up the steps. So you can see quite clearly in this space. If I had to get around my house with just this light at night, absolutely no problem whatsoever. We're going to take it outside now and test it out. I'm outside now, and I'll show you the different settings for the ThruNite Ti3. Here's the lowest setting, and you basically can't see anything when I'm looking dead ahead. I will show you right in front of me. That's the lowest setting right there. Let's do the second setting. Now you can start to see the side of the garage there get lit up. And then on the third setting, boom. You can see amazingly well with this, and I'll just shine it around the yard with me. We had a windstorm, so my chairs are blown over. But you can really Over there in the corner, you've got that exercise ball that my kids play with. And then there's a compost bin. I often come out at night and let my dogs out and have to shine out a light at the compost bin to make sure there's not like a skunk or a possum or something messing around with that. So you could use this light to do that. And I'll tell you that, you know, this, man, the spill of this light is significant. I mean, I'm shining into the corner of my yard right now and I could see about 2/3 to 3/4 of the yard. So pretty impressive for this tiny little light. Let's do a quick size comparison here when it comes to lights that I've carried as EDC lights that you may be familiar with. We've got the SOG Dark Energy, Surefire Fury, my 511 ATAC, and then the Streamlight Micro Stream. And then let me just add in the ThruNite Ti3. So look at the size of that thing. I mean, just tiny compared to the rest of these lights. But as you saw, still puts out a lot of light for a tiny little light. And again, your price point is going to be around $20, give or take. Now this here is one of my new favorite things about the Ti3. It fits very nicely in an Altoids tin. So if you're into building those last ditch, you know, last effort, tiny little tin that's going to be the last thing that you have when everything else goes wrong, it fits in this quite nicely, and it fits nicely enough that there's plenty of room for, you know, a small blade. You could put a lighter in there. Like the micro stream barely fits in there, but it takes up a lot of space. This takes up just a tiny amount of space. I'll push it up to the top here so you can see. I mean, you've got the vast majority of that tin still with plenty of room. So if you're into building, you know, little survival tins like this using your Altoids tin, you could certainly put the Ti3 in there very nicely. As we wrap up here, let's talk about who the ThruNite Ti3 is for. Everyday carry. Yeah, you could definitely use it. It's a little bit small for me for an everyday carry. I like something a little bit more substantial, something maybe the size of that 511, something the size of like a tactical pen. But you could certainly use it for everyday carry and those, you know, just kind of day-to-day uses. Could it be a keychain light? Absolutely. It does come with that little keychain that we showed you before, so you could attach it to your keys, and now you've got a light when you're getting into the car, getting out of the house. And you have enough light in this flashlight that, you know, let's say you're walking out to your car at night and you want to kind of just take a look around, you're going to get a pretty good throw on this light to see how far, you know, to see out a little bit of distance, to see maybe if someone's in the parking lot or if anybody else is around. Law enforcement and military, you definitely could use this. This is not going to be a primary light, but maybe it's something you want to throw, you know, into a pocket and as a backup when you're taking notes, or you want to do something if you're in law enforcement military and you can't have a bright light that's shining all over the place and giving your position away. You have that super low setting here, so you could be taking notes or, you know, looking at a map, something like that. So, you know, it does have a wide variety of uses. And I'll also say that if you've never carried an EDC light and you're thinking about, you know, I just want to try a tiny little light, this could be a really good option for you. For a very reasonable price, you can get into carrying a flashlight, test this one out, and see what you actually think about it. So, thanks as always for checking out our videos. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids here on YouTube. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and check us out on Instagram and Tumblr as well. Take care.